Welcome to the Justin Ng Show, where real entrepreneurs and investors reveal how they turn humble beginnings into high-impact ventures. From bold moves to capital raises, we unpack what it really takes to build and scale greatness. Let's go check it out. So, today I'm joined by Alex Lovely, multifamily mogul, mentor, and the heart behind a thriving community of real estate investors. We're breaking down how he scaled his portfolio, overcame the odds, and now coaches others to create cash flow, confidence, and freedom. From mindset to money, this episode is packed with tactical wisdom and real life wins. Let's go. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining me here today in this studio for this podcast. So thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to start out tell us about your story, how you from your beginning, how you get to where you are right now at this point in the real estate journey.
In the real estate journey, okay, let's see. So I guess I'll start from, I believe that my journey started when I was young. You know, my dad always taught me to be an entrepreneur. When I was little, I actually used to go to school, trade my clothes for toys that I wanted, because I knew that I would always get the clothes and I wouldn't be able to get the toys that I wanted. So I would trade shoes, trade things for my lunchbox for toys. So I've always had this entrepreneurial mindset, and I'd say my real estate journey really began when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. You know, I think that is the beginning of most people's journeys. Mm-hmm. Probably 95% of all real estate investors out there began with that book.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It changed our mindsets about assets and liabilities and how to get out of the rat race. So very, very simple. And so I started there, and it took me about probably 4 years after reading that book, or 5 years before I bought my first property. And I was 24 or 25 years old. Bought a triplex in Newark, New Jersey, came out of college, and I knew that's what I was going to do. I wasn't going to work for anybody. And long story short, it was the recovery period after 07, 08. So basically anything you bought, it was like a slam dunk. You know, my property went from $220,000 to $660,000 in value within 2 years.
Wow.
So for somebody that's brand new coming in, not only did this triplex, like, I considered myself out of the rat race, it paid for all of my expenses, my car, my own stay, my cell phone. I'm like, yes, I'm free. And then I also get this appreciation on the property. Mm-hmm. So I refinance out of it, you know, because I didn't have a mentor or a guide or a community or anything like that. I bought 2 restaurants on campus. I invested into 2 restaurants, renovated the whole thing. Pretty much 3 years in, lost everything. My house got taken, my car got repoed, you know, and I worked really hard. I worked like 15 hours a day. So I just didn't know any better, and then I had to restart. You know, and I feel like a lot of people that have reasons why they can't do real estate. When I lost my restaurant, lost my house and everything, my credit score was literally like 400. And I had a debt. I owed $400,000. So I know what it's like really to be rock bottom. There was a point where I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to come back. Like, what job can I get? What can I do? And then I learned about partnerships in real estate. I learned about leveraging. You know, I always knew leveraging money, leveraging the bank, leveraging all these things, but I didn't really think about leveraging other people and leveraging my knowledge for other people's, you know, investments. So, you know, it's the same kind of principle that I've used from residential, climbing all the way back to commercial real estate, and all the way to where I am today, is all through the power of partnerships. And so relationships, I value relationships more than anything as a result of that.
Okay. And what was your first partnership that took you to where you are right now?
I would say the first one was this guy, Michael DeSanti, on my 3rd meetup. He was the first one to invest with me. It's the first money that I've ever taken from an investor into real estate, and we bought a property. Then he told his friends, they told their friends. I had an awesome affiliate program for it, you know, and yeah, we blew it up, and within like within like a year and 3 months, something like that, I was making $20,000 a month
Wow.
from cash flow, and all with partnerships, all 50-50 splits.
Okay.
And then I would say the next highlight in my real estate career with partners is when I partnered with Mike Bailey, John Sidoti, Thomas Varghese, Danny Hericki. Us five created a team, and we bought our first commercial property. So we bought a 42-unit industrial storage in Savannah, Georgia, which is still cash flowing really well now. That was my entry into commercial. And then together we did a couple more 176-unit multifamily, 300-unit storage, 400 something units in Dallas. So, we've partnered together, and now I am able to lead my own. Before I really counted on my partners, but now I am the lead sponsor for the deals that I work on.
Gotcha.
So there's a growth in
Okay.
there, yeah.
And so those people that you mentioned, they were all the key principals, and you were just coming in as a partner?
No, we were actually equal JV,
Okay,
JV
okay.
partners. I came in, I was like, I could raise $1 million. That was my intro to the game. So like you said earlier, if you can raise capital, everybody's gonna want you. I literally just went to the conferences. I basically had a shirt that says, I'll raise $1 million. So a lot of people came to me and wanted me to join their team. And so I really found, I kind of interviewed a couple different groups, and I was like, I really like these guys. Their values are very similar to mine. They're very authentic, down to earth. Because a lot of times you meet guys in these conferences that are just like, oh, how you doing? And then before you can even answer, they're like, oh, we have a deal, right? They're trying to already pitch you on a deal, and it's hilarious. So these guys were really down to earth, and they brought me in. I was just like, we'll go 20% across the board for everything we do. It doesn't matter if you guys raise no capital. Right? I wanted to really be with a team.
Okay, and that's where it was very key to your value, not your value, but more of like your relationship that you want to build with them. Like compared to the other ones that just say, I have a deal, you want to build a relationship, and that's how you will build rapport, lead with value.
Yeah.
And I guess that t-shirt actually works, that you walk in and say you raise.
I mean, it's basically like I had a t-shirt, I was just announcing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I probably would have had even more people come if I had that t-shirt on.
Yeah, because I do see people wearing those t-shirts, or they carry a backpack that says like, talk to me, or some LED like scrolling. Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, there's so many people in the game, and they're trying to find a lot of marketing ways. They're all hooks, right? It's all kind of similar. They're just hooks to start a conversation. And, for us now, it's how do we find out who's real, who's authentic. You have to get past all that marketing smokescreen that people put on now. And so it's a little more challenging, and this is why being in a community, like just being a part of a community, getting to know people better, and just spending quality time one-on-one with people. If you're going to market and you're going to sell, you're going to raise capital, you should do it like presentation style, where you're speaking one-to-many. But when you're actually getting to know somebody, and this is where capital's really raised the easiest and most efficient way, is truly getting one-on-one with someone.
Gotcha.
Too many people today are doing real estate like it's just a transaction. Yeah.
It's not like they don't build a relationship. It's like one transaction, they close and then move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I have deals that I invested in. I can't even get in touch with the general partners that enrolled me into it. That I invested money with them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, can you just send an email to support? I'm like, to support? Like, I gave my money to you. Right. I know maybe you're just the capital raiser or whatever, but 2025 and 2024, all these things happening recently, I think it's going to show who are the real players that are going to make it through. The ones that can't hack it. When challenges come and adversities show up, people will dip off. Right? But then you have people that will really stick through, and if you can make it through these challenging times, we're going to hit that period again where real estate just slam dunks. Everything is just like you buy anything and you make money.
Just like when you say it before, in 2007, 2006 at that time.
Yeah, 2007, 2008, around that time, yeah.
Okay, and that was like the great crash at the thing at that time, right? Remember?
Yeah, the difference then and now is just like there was basically, you can already see the writing on the wall when people that should not be even getting one loan are getting 5 loans for properties. And they're actually, some of the deals I remember hearing stories of deals that after they bought the property, they actually got more than 100% loan to value. They actually got more money just to own a property. You know, and these mortgage brokers across the board everywhere was just, they were allowed to just write these loans, you know, with no due diligence. People that should have no business owning 5 properties are owning 5 properties.
And that was then, though. Right now, I know right now I know like in the multifamily commercial space, that's where some of the loans also get bad. They are not able to come up with the money, or they have to get taken out refi. Those are the kind of stories I hear too. Do you hear the kind of same stories too?
Yeah, I mean, today is different. Today is because interest rates are higher, you know, and then there's inflation. I mean, we should also see this where they printed 400x the amount of money that was in circulation. So of course there's going to be a period of figuring out the value of money, you know,
Right.
and usually what happens then is they're shaking everything loose. So you have interest rates being super high. That means the value of properties are lower, the cap rates are lower, the cap rates are higher and the value's lower. And, you know, with inflation, all construction is more, insurance is going to charge more, taxes are going to be more. So those things on the expense side is coming up first. And because of that, like, you know, you can't match it with the rent increase. There's too much products on the market and too competitive, and then you have people losing deals, right? Like this, it's really in the commercial side. Residential's not really affected like that. The only thing that's affecting residential right now is basically there's less volume of movement. So then you have all the real estate brokers, everyone in the real estate industry feeling that contraction.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, when people expect to sell 20 homes and they sell 1, like, how do you put food on the table? Now they got to go find other jobs and other gigs. So there's a trickle effect, and things will pick back up once we go through this period. Because right now we are in the correction period. So after correction comes recovery. And then it goes to like peak, and then it goes into hyper, and then it comes back down again and goes back into correction. It's just the cycle that real estate go through. And if we can learn, like, what's really important today is if we can learn through this market cycle, 1, take advantage of what's to come, right? 2, it'll come again 1 or 2 more times in our lifetime, at least in my lifetime, right? 1 or 2 more of these cycles. So can you identify them and be prepared? Because it's during these cycles, during the recovery periods, that people really change their lives. You have an opportunity to add 1 or 2 zeros to your net worth.
Okay.
Right? Because real estate, this is the time to do it.
Okay. And what are you doing? What are the steps you're taking right now to be able to take advantage of these opportunities that you mentioned are coming up?
Yeah, well, 1 is through education, right? What I know and what I'm learning from our deals and what I'm hearing from you know, high net worth people, the rooms that I'm in, I want to share this with as many people as possible. Because as I share this, what people are seeing is Alex is saying all these things, and time is going to show maybe I'm going to be right about all of it. Right? But you can always reframe your story and pick back up. That's really what the government, the media is always doing. But you want to just be broadcasting out to as many people as possible, knowing you're doing work, you're making things happen, and you're buying real estate, and you're sharing your knowledge with all these people. And when the time comes, now how do we bring them together so we can buy deals? You know, my goal is to get to the top of the mountain with like thousands of people. Most people's goals are to get to the top of the mountain by themselves, right? Like if you see like the BlackRock funds, any institutional level funds, even you know, you see Grant Cardone, like you're not going to be a partner with him on real estate deals. You can invest with him. He does amazing things for his investors, and he's got a lot of them. He's got a great community. I was part of that, and I learned. That's where I began my commercial real estate journey. So a lot of kudos for him for the education side, but he's just not going to be partnering with him. He's getting to the top of the mountain by himself. Maybe a small couple selected people, you know, but that's it.
Okay. and you are bringing people, that's why you were mentioning earlier, you building a community of people that you can rise up together.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think that in this market cycle, right, you have your family offices, you have institutions, you have Warren Buffett, all these guys are sitting on the sideline with a ton of money. They're waiting for the fire sale. They know it's coming, right? And then they're going to buy up everything. So they're going to buy the Class A institutional level assets at 40% discount, and they're going to be picking all that up. For us, like average people, we wouldn't even be able to participate in competing for those deals unless we bind together, unless we bring people together, unless we go as a group to take that down, to compete with one BlackRock fund, one Grant Cardone fund, right? And if we can do that, then now every person is elevated and we can all say, hey, we closed an institutional level deal.
Gotcha.
When you're doing smaller deals, the conversations you're having and the capital you're raising is much lower. It's down here. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but your average investor might give you $50,000. But once you start closing institutional level deals and the conversations you're having, now your average investor might be $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, right? Because at that level, people are going to give you, those are the deals that those people want to be a part of, because they're safer, you know, and they're trophies. People want trophies. People don't want, when you have 30, 40, 50 million dollars, you're not going to try to do as many value adds as possible and put in so much work. You want to buy a trophy asset that is just going to guarantee cash flow. You walk in there, you can brag to your friends about this building, right? So like, who is the people that you want to be in the room with? And if it's those people, then you need to get the assets that they want. So, yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're building our community, and we're readying everybody into groups so that we can all chip in and go together on one institutional level deal.
Gotcha. And how are you acquiring all these deals? Do you have like a acquisition team that's going out and putting offers into these deals right now?
So as our community grows, like, everyone knows somebody that has access to these deals, whether they have relationships with banks or they have relationships with top level brokers that are, you know, sending deals through. I think a lot of deals will be grabbed with relationship with banks. You know, I think it's important to start making relationships with the higher management of different banks, so they can give you the heads up. You know, and I think what else is going to happen is, for example, if there was a deal that's in trouble and we can see it's underwater, and the bank's got, you know, gave almost 70% LTV, the bank just wants to be clear. The bank wants to get their money back. You know, they want that 70 million out of the 100 million back, and you can say, we'll give you 75 million for that deal, right? Now the bank's incentivized to take that deal back. But if there's no offer from the back end, the bank's like just trying to hold it off as long as they can, because they don't want that in their books, because it's going to make their shares look bad. So
Gotcha. Okay.
it goes onto the wrong side of the book if they take an asset back. So they don't want it back, but if they have another buyer, they have no problems just going to make that happen.
How do you build relationships with banks, and how do you get that list from them to be able to present it to you?
Well, so you got to build a relationship in the rooms that you're in, right? So you just got to start to 2025 this year. I would, for anyone that is watching even up to here, just notice what room you're in, right? Just notice the people that are in that room. Are they, what type of deals are they doing? What type of conversations are being had? And you want to just find the right rooms to be in, even if it's just to be there, to kind of, whatever you got to pay to be in those rooms, right? My buddy Jordan runs a Jetson Capital event as somebody that is not an investor. If you're raising capital of any sort, you got to pay $1,500 to be there. Yeah, I pay $1,500 to be there.
Gotcha.
You know, you got to pay to play, and you got to know that when you're paying, it's an investment. Most people want free things. I don't want free things. You know, that's the trap. If people tell me it's free, I'm like, yeah, I don't really want it. You know, that means I'm going to be with a bunch of other people that want free things. I want to be in the room with people that are willing to pay $1,500 to be there. You know, I want to be around more of people like that. So, yeah.
So it's mostly like just weeding out the people that goes to these things so that you can.
It's just you just have to know where you want to be.
Okay.
You know, and a good friend of mine, she goes to every single one of these things for free because she provides massive value that's more than somebody paying $1,500. So there's two ways. Either you just provide value for somebody where you get invited there, or two, you got to pay to get in to play. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
If you're going to pay money, that's a good use of money. Right? Get around people. Get around people that will introduce you to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So you're talking to banks is one, and then you say there was other places you can go meet people in the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
What are the methods that you think that?
LinkedIn. You should be. Everybody. I think the average. Somebody was saying the median income of people that are on LinkedIn is like over $100,000, and like somebody was saying TikTok is like $25,000. Like the average user.
Okay.
Right. So then LinkedIn is kind of the most. It's the least cool one of all of them, right? Because you actually are there making connections versus just scrolling through whatever.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn, the people that are using LinkedIn, there's a purpose. They're using LinkedIn to connect with people, to get to know professionals.
Okay.
TikTok and Instagram, as great as they are, and Facebook, it's just a bunch of, most people use it to scroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how are you leveraging LinkedIn as well to reach out to people and to connect and build
So
relationship?
LinkedIn is the one that requires kind of the most work. So we're really paying now for like coaching and mentorship for my team to be able to take our LinkedIn to the next level. But yeah, LinkedIn is where I make a lot of great connections.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. to
Even
know.
just as is, you know, I update my stuff. You just want to make sure your LinkedIn profile is done correctly, you know, and you can set certain parameters where you can find people and then just message them.
Okay.
Right? Like I think one of the things you can do is, and genuinely do it. What I hate about social media is when people blast like messages, and there's a fine line right now between using AI and between you creating a genuine relationship. Right? I can tell when an AI is speaking to me. Like the questions it asks is just like, no matter what I say, it's asking me another follow-up question. I'm like, yo, I know who you are. Like I don't even want to talk to this person now. You know, as opposed to being really genuine. And so try to at least build 1 or 2 genuine relationships a day. It's not a lot, but it'll go far. By the end of the year, 720 more people.
And what is this coaching that you guys are using for your team in the LinkedIn?
It's not really even coaching. We're bringing somebody onto our team that's an expert in that space.
Okay.
So what I like to do is I share from the start. I'm like, what is your goal? When I interview somebody, you know, for a service, I'm like, what's your goal? Like, what do you want in 2025? What do you want to do? Do you just want to have a whole bunch of clientele? Do you want to build your own coaching company? What is it? I'm trying to find the person that wants to align to one organization, that understand that aligning behind an organization is better than trying to start you something on your own. And so I found somebody that's like, yeah, I want to make $30,000 a month and I want to align behind an organization. I'm like, cool, now we have a goal together, right? Because if I'm just hiring her for her services, there's no real loyalty that's going to be built. Like, either I'm going to fire her or she's going to leave and find a better job, something like that, right? But if it's somebody that really sees the vision of what we want to create, that's what I'm doing. I am a vision person. I'm always sharing my vision, and I want to know who wants to be a part of it. And whoever wants to be a part of it, I give it my all to help this person succeed in this space.
Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you see yourself as a visionary, and then you find out integrators coming to work and to build the operations for you.
Yeah, and anyone, so like my kind of guideline is, if you have the willingness and the desire to be a part of our team, I will make it happen. And if I can't make it happen, it means my vision was too small and I get to grow my vision. Right? My vision should include as many people as want to be on our team. Whether it's in funds with us, in real estate, in our education platforms, in my life. You know, if I can't think big enough to include anybody that wants to be, then I get to expand my vision. This is why my vision is always so huge and my team is like, oh my God, slow down, you know?
Yeah, that's my mentor as well. He always says that his vision is so big and he needs to find people to come in, integrators to get everything done, and he was able to build a good team from that. So I'm pretty sure you're doing the same thing too.
Yeah, we're trying. We're doing that.
Hopefully
Yeah.
you're getting the integrators to help you and to get where you are right now. And in terms of like, I know you mentioned that the biggest thing right now for you is like raising the funds for, was it 12 funds or
10 funds. We're
10
going to do
funds?
about 10 funds together to go take down a large deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
But each fund is going to go into one deal, or each fund will have a deal separate?
Each fund will come together into one deal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But the difference between that and what I see out there in fund to funds and is, when you have fund to funds, the fund itself, the fund to fund is already doing a split with their LPs. Then they come into another fund which already has another split. Whereas those two layers of split, and at the end of the day, yes, operators make money that raise capital, but the LPs' returns suffer. And this is that process itself is exactly how Wall Street and everything is built on. So many people taking pieces. Like a return on a real estate deal is great, but you have CEOs making 10-figure, salaries, and then you have all the people that are selling and raising capital in between making, 6-7 figures. And then you got other people underneath, everyone taking a piece. By the time it goes to the investors, like an investor invests into a REIT or something, they got to settle for like 5% a year, 6% a year. Mutual funds, this is what they are. Think about if you invest into a mutual fund or a REIT, like you're guaranteed a small, tiny return, but 10 people ahead of you all got paid, from your money. Your money, pay 10 people across the board, and then you get a small chunk of change. So real estate, like if you can find the right person to do real estate with and that you can trust, do it that way. Your returns are much bigger. Putting it into REITs and putting it into these things are okay. It's safe-ish, I guess, but you can't even outpace inflation. Like, what are you really even doing with that money? Most people are just, because they're working and they're trading their time for money, they don't have time to figure out how to make their money make money. So they're just like, here you go. 401k, that sounds good. Oh, this person's matching, that sounds good. But when you really look at all your returns after 10 years, you're like, what happened to my money? I was supposed to have triple the amount. Why do I only have like an extra small amount of money?
Yeah, because I know I'm coming from that space too, right? At W2, everybody put 401k, get a matching. Yeah. And I know people that take it out as well, take a loan out from it because you're using it, but you're paying it back for yourself, but taking a loan for it to use for other investments, like, for example, maybe people buying a car or investing in like real estate.
I mean, whatever you want to do, you can take it into your own hands, right? Put it into self-directed. The custodian should be self-directed so that you can decide where that money goes. If they decide where it goes, 10 people taking a piece of your money.
Yeah.
You decide where it goes,
it's different.
It's different.
And that's one of the things I'm trying to help, like the people I work with, where my current company is, like I work, when they leave, I tell them, say, hey, talk to me first before you transfer or roll over your 401k to something else. Because, as a self-directed, maybe you can invest in real estate. And that's why I tell them, but, it's still on them to be able to take the initiative, to be able to put in a self-directed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I'm still talking to them to see how it goes and telling you to just put your money in the self-directed, and then when you do that, talk to me. I can help you put in like, not like institutional, but not like a big, large multifamily, but maybe like single family, and just get like a return whenever they get the money back. So I'm just helping them that way as well.
Yeah. So, if they take money out of their self-directed, it has to be passive. So they actually have to invest with an operator, whether it's you or whoever that they gotta be passive. So just for clarity's sake.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. But thank you so much again for your time. Like, how people can reach out to you, what platforms, social media, or
all platforms. Alex Lovely, you can find me there. You go to alexlovely.com and you can see all the things that I have, my offerings, and the books and stuff that I'm working on.
Books?
Yeah.
You're writing a book? Books?
3 books actually.
3 books.
Yeah. So I have a book called the So a lot of it's based off similar principles. So right now I have like Journey of an Investor. So it starts with like, when an investor just starts, they're curious in real estate. They're like, they see the potential. There's phase one, right? Phase one, let's call it the awakener. And they're awakened to the fact that real estate, they have an opportunity to make money in there. And they're like, yes, I can see this is a way to build wealth. So many people have done it. But because they're so curious, they have no idea. They're overwhelmed by all the information out there. They're listening to podcasts. They're listening to YouTube videos, like reading books and doing all these things. But they're stuck. Information paralysis. This is too much stuff.
Right.
And then you move on to the second phase, which you finally go from intellectual to actually doing. Maybe they bought their first property or they did their first JV deal, something like that. Then they move on to the next phase, the third phase, where they're clear on their niche. They're like, this is what I'm doing. I'm either going all in wholesale. Now this point, people know what to say no to and what to say yes to. Right? So they're growing as an investor. And then the fourth phase is they have already done really well in that space, and they really want to mentor other people. They really want to share their knowledge or leveraging their knowledge to monetize now. And this is where they now start raising a lot of capital from people.
Okay.
Because they've proved themselves, right, at that stage. The last stage, I already named it the luminary,
okay.
which is now this person, this investor, has gone beyond real estate. They realize that purpose is more important. Than just transactions. So they're now committed to creating legacy type of projects. They're committed to making the world a better place, and their projects is different, right? The thinking becomes different. So there's this journey that we go on, and by the end of it, it all comes down to understanding that giving is receiving. That if you want to build massive wealth and you want to create something, you got to make a positive impact in the world, and you got to come from a place of giving.
Yeah.
This gratitude and giving, and that's the place that's really going to fill our souls and our hearts. In the beginning, it's very material as an investor goes through. So that's the book I'm working on to start. And then I have another book called Tribal Mindset, another book called Had You Have Faith, You Wouldn't Need a Miracle.
Nice. Yeah. But so alexlovely.com, right?
alexlovely.com, you guys check it out.
And all your information, everything's on there too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before I end, do you have anybody else I can bring in to interview just like this?
Yeah, so there's plenty of people that I can here in Vegas. Yeah, probably there's some people.
Yeah, we'll connect again outside this and see if you give me like a couple of referrals. I can reach out to them and see if they can come in, and I'll just do like an interview as well, just to batch record for my podcast. So thank you so much, Alex. Yeah, thank you so much for.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.